We're going to be talking about how to go full-time with music, lifestyle as a brand, and a bunch of other questions from our Patreon community. So, before we get into all that, we got to drop the intro one time.
I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need a help. Ooh, I don't need nothing else. Every time I'm with you, yo, it's something else. It's a fact, and it's nothing else. Got your hand out, you don't even need a help. Ooh,
That's right.
I don't need nothing else.
That's right.
What's going on? It's Ruslan with KingsDreamENT.com. This channel exists to encourage, empower, inspire you to live God's dream for your life. We live God's dream by living God's way, which will keep us in God's will and will help us live God's best for us. So we're going to be talking about a couple different things today. How to go full-time with your music career, which is a huge topic. We're going to be talking about how to build your lifestyle as a brand, or lifestyle branding, I guess, as a whole, and taking a bunch of other questions from the community. But before we go into that, I have to let you guys know about the King's Dream Outlier Challenge, which is happening right now. It's an opportunity for you to win $1,000 by doing the 2 habits that have transformed my life the most. Habit number 1 was getting out of debt by getting on a monthly written budget. And so you get on a budget by following everydollar.com. It's a free budgeting tool with Dave Ramsey, FPU. It completely transformed our lives. In 18 months, we paid off $45,000 in debt, which then led us to save 6 months of living expenses, which then led me to quit my job and my wife to quit her job and go full-time with music, which is what I've been doing for the past 5 years. And so I'm just trying to retrace the things that have helped me the most. The second thing is keeping a log of your food and tracking your macronutrients so that you can get an optimal shape, so you can get an optimal fitness shape. And I'll show you guys the website. Whoa, that was interesting. I've never had that happen before. There we go. The website right here, kingsdreament.com/outlier challenge. If you guys hit the link in the bio, it's right here. There's a video explaining some of the details. So all the resources are right here. And you basically earn points for the different things you can do. You could submit a photo. You can, for a before photo, you can pre-save my new song with Jamil and Berg on a Beat, which is coming out next Friday. It's called The Way. And all these different things get you more points. The more points you get, the more chances you have to win. So if you like pre-save the song, it's 10 points. If you share it, it's 10 points. But if you commit to being on the written budget and following your macro plan, you'll earn 100 points by submitting a before photo. And so that's kind of what we're hoping you guys all do, is get on board. I think we have over 45 people signed up. In order for the $1,000 prize to take effect, we need 100 people signed up. So it's $1,000 cash. It is a $100 Amazon gift card, and it is a King's Dream Outlier merch pack. Of course, we got the new King's Dream Outlier merch. Some of you guys may, I gotta stop doing that. Some of you guys may have seen it. We got the mineral black hoodies. Those are in stock. And we got the heather blue. And we're about to drop a mineral bronze color hoodie and a black version of the Outlier hoodie. So if you want to get behind what we're doing here at KingsDreamENT.com, pick up an Outlier hoodie. The big idea is that the average life expectancy in America is down for the first time. Suicide, depression, anxiety is up. And people are living paycheck to paycheck. The average American can't afford an emergency expense of $300. And those are just some super sad statistics and facts. Now, at the same time, technology is booming. At the same time, the Dow Jones and Wall Street is at an all-time record-breaking high. The economy is doing great, but there's this disconnect that we're experiencing. And there's so many things in life that we don't get to control necessarily. We don't get to control the family we're born into, the city we're born into, the class we're born into. But we can't control the things we can't control, which is what we do with our money and our hustle and our abilities and our talents, and what we put into our bodies and the food that we eat, or rather cutting out some of the food we shouldn't be eating to impact our mood. We can control our activity level. And I believe when we control the things we can control, when we get a hold of our money, when we get a hold of our eating, when our money isn't our God and our food and our tummy isn't our God, that's a good rhyme. When our money or our tummy isn't our God, I think that's when God starts to really chisel away and transform us from the inside out. And the physical is just a manifestation of the spiritual. Your physical man is a reflection of your spiritual man. So if you're not happy with how you look or how you feel, you could change that. You could really change that. And so that's what I'm hoping to get you guys to do. So the link's in the description, all that kind of good stuff. Check that out. Join the Outlier Challenge. Don't play yourself. We're gonna really transform some lives and help people grow and do some things that they've never done before. And I've experienced these things personally. Like I said, in 18 months, we paid off $45,000 of expenses, got out of debt. And in 18 months ago, I got on this keeping track. I'm playing this game with keeping track of my food, and that transformed everything. And so much of our success is connected to the little decisions. Everybody wants to be focused on the big decisions and the big vision without taking the time and the discipline to first focus on the little decisions. So I'm going to stop talking about the challenge. I'm going to bring in some of our Patreon community. If you don't know, Patreon is our online community, the most talented, creative online community on the internet. And I want to bring some of them in to share some of their questions. And so, by the way, if you're watching this live, let me know where you're watching this from. I love you guys for watching it live. Let me know if you guys have questions in there. Maybe we'll get to some of your guys' questions. And if you want to join the community and call in, you could do that right now. And I'm going to send out this thing to our folks on Patreon so they know that we're live on YouTube answering your questions. If you're live on YouTube, let me know where you're watching this from. Everybody stay muted for now, if you can, while we get this off the ground. I see some of you guys in here. Boom. Do this. Call in here. Okay, so first up, we got my man Carlton Batts. Carlton, I'm going to pin you up real quick, then I'm going to bring you in, so just give me 1 second. And Carlton, you are live. Unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question, bro.
Yeah, how you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Where you from?
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
All right. Let's go, DeVille.
Yeah, so my question is, I feel like with my music and my ability to, like, put myself, like, how I communicate with my bars and everything, I feel like it's at a good level. Mm-hmm. I've been working on that since I was like since kindergarten. I feel like my parents were very supportive of it, and they helped me, made me read the sources and dictionaries and stuff, develop my vocabulary.
Heck yeah.
Further.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like my lyrical ability is very good and my vocabulary is vast, but I feel like I want to be in a position where I can live off my gift that God gave me.
Yeah.
And I don't, like, I work some jobs. I'm working right now, and I don't see that for the rest of my life. That's something I do not want to do for the rest of my life.
Yep.
I don't see that that's not me. I don't want nobody telling me I have to do this, go do that.
Yep.
I pay you, you listen to me. That's not what I want. So I want to ask you, what were the steps that you took to get where you at to live off your gift?
That's a great question. And how old are you?
I'm 17.
You're 17. Are you still in high school?
Yes, sir.
Was junior or senior?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. Okay. Dude, that's a great question. That's a great way to be thinking about this stuff right now. Let me first speak to the job situation. So, like, in terms of working a job, one of the things that is hard for us to get a hold of, and especially younger people, is, man, the truth is how you do anything is how you do everything. So there's a book that I read called Quitter, which was about John Acuff's book about how he transitioned from, working jobs he hated to working his dream job to eventually he became his own boss and became his own entrepreneur. And the idea of, like, honoring your boss, working hard at whatever you do, whatever your job is so undervalued. Is like people have this misconception that they could coast by, that they could be trash at their job. They could show up late. They could be lazy. They could steal while they're on the clock. And then they think, like, once they go full time with their own thing, that they're just gonna be amazing entrepreneurs. And it's like, nah, man. Like, if you aren't taking your job seriously now and you aren't working hard while working on your side hustle simultaneously, the odds of somebody being a lazy employee and then becoming a great entrepreneur are like so low. And a lot of people struggle when they become self-employed because they didn't have the work ethic and the grind and the grit to transition and being entrepreneurs. And so I would say, just for starters, bro, that's awesome that you're working. Keep working. Be faithful. If you don't like your job, quit and get a different job. You know what I'm saying? Get a job that you at least like and you could bear. But because how you do anything is how you do everything. Like, that is, gosh, I wish somebody emphasized that to me at 17. That goes for school. That goes for if you're playing sports. Like, everything is connected because it's really about your character and who you are in the little things and when no one's looking. You know what I mean? I think in terms of music right now, bro, it's an interesting time in terms of music. It's the best of times and it's the worst of times. If you're already semi-poppin', it's a great time to do music. If you're already creative, if you're already doing stuff, or you already have a platform, it's an amazing time to be making music. It's just a great time, man. It's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of opportunity out there. But if you aren't already in the mix, and if you aren't already popping, and if you don't already have momentum, it's a really hard time to cut through and get attention because there's so much music out there. There's so many ways to consume the music. There's so many rappers. There's so many YouTubers. There's so many podcasts. And people's attention spans, and attention is directly tied into our biggest commodity, which is our time, right? What I spend my time on is the most valuable resource that I have. So you just have to know that it's competitive. Now, for you to ask me how do you go full-time with music is the equivalent of how somebody goes to the NFL and becomes a professional football player, right? So, like, there's a certain percentage of people who play football that are just going to be utterly terrible and they're not going to make it past JV. They're going to get hit that first time in a game. And they're going to be like, I'm good. Like, this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm done, right? So you're going to have a certain percentage of people that are just terrible. They're going to hit their first hardship. They're going to quit. Then there's going to be a certain percentage that are like genetically there. They're good and they could play at a JV varsity level and they're good. And then there's going to be a certain percentage of people that just work hard and they just got grit, right? And those people, I think, that work hard and got grit and have the genetics, right? When talent and hard work meet each other, then that's when you can break through. And then those people, and some people who are talented, just talented, and some people that just work really, really hard, maybe they're not as naturally talented, I would say those people can make it to that next, like, college ball level, right? And then from there, you got to work even harder. You got to avoid injuries. You got to grind. You got to be a team player. You got to be likable. Oh my gosh, my nephew's playing basketball right now, freshman basketball. And he doesn't understand the value of being likable. Like, he doesn't get that your team and your coach have to like you, right? And so there's that level, right? And then from college, a certain number of people can cut through and make it to the pros. And then out of the pros, you're going to have a couple just all-star beasts, right? There's only a couple Deion Sanders. There's only a couple Jerry Rices. There's only a couple Jay-Z's. There's only a couple Kendricks. That doesn't mean there's not 1,000 players in the league. There's 1,000 players in the league, and a lot of them are making really good money, and we've never even heard of them. But the like the elite of the elite, like, there's uncontrollable variables that they have. And so I would parallel music to something like that. I think basketball is harder because basketball is even less people. Like, there's even less people on the team. There's even less people participating. You got a 12-person roster versus like a 55-person roster, right, for an NBA team. So it's just less, like, you're just dwindling those numbers down and down and down and down. And so to answer your question, man, a lot. A lot. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. It takes natural talent. It takes hard work. It takes being different. It takes self-awareness, knowing what makes you different, knowing what gives you a unique advantage. It takes relationships. People undervalue relationships, being likable, maybe being teachable and learning something on a different platform. Again, I just had Trey Little. Carlton, I'd invite you to go back and watch that Trey Little interview. Trey Little had been doing music for 5 years. All of a sudden got popping on TikTok, and now his music career is popping. You know what I'm saying? He got popping on TikTok in 4 months. He had been doing music for a decade. You know what I'm saying? And wasn't really, like, he was doing okay, but he didn't actually have like a sustainable career. But once he got popping on TikTok, he's now blowing up musically. His Spotify numbers are going up, his YouTube numbers are going up. And so sometimes it's being teachable and understanding and learning a new platform and seeing a place and opportunity on how you could finesse a platform to get the attention, right? All goes back to the attention. You could be the most skilled lyrical miracle, and if you're not Kendrick Lamar's little cousin, shout out to Baby Keem. You know what I'm saying? Y'all heard about that story, right? Baby Keem, organic, sent in a beat tape to TDE, and now he's on the Black Panther soundtrack, and they built this like fake story only to find out that it was really Kendrick Lamar's little cousin. You know what I'm saying? The whole time it's been Kendrick Lamar's little cousin. They're making it sound so organic, and it just happened overnight, and I got lucky, and oh my. No, fool, you were Kendrick Lamar's little cousin. You had to end with the greatest rapper of our era, therefore you got on at 18, right? The media is going to feed you this lie. They're going to feed you these crazy stories of Big Sean ran up to Kanye and rapped for him at the radio and Kanye signed him, and like that stuff don't really happen like that. Like not in this era. You know what I'm saying? Not in this era. Or Baby Keem sent in a beat tape to Kendrick and TDE, and all of a sudden he's on Black Panther and he's writing on Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, that's just freaking cousin. And they're lying to us by not telling us and being upfront with that. He's an industry plant. And there's nothing wrong with industry plants, by the way. You want to be an industry plant. You want to have so much momentum and so many relationships that someone can position you to cut through and blow up, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And for you, Carlton, you're in Nashville. That's awesome. There's a lot of people around in Nashville. A lot of people live there. A lot of relationships are there. You know what I mean? So I think to answer your question, I know I just said a lot, bro, so forgive me. But to answer your question, you have to make remarkable music. First and foremost, it is about the music. You have to make great music. That's the first part. If you can make great music, you are already one step ahead. Then you have to consider the distribution of the great music. Right? Where is this music going to live? Are you going to upload it to SoundCloud and go viral tomorrow? Probably not. SoundCloud is not where your music should go. Okay. So then you got to think about the attention. How are you going to get the attention? What are you going to do? Are you going to be some super animated Twitch user that like is so popping on Twitch, he goes viral every time and then therefore amasses a following and then pivots and becomes a star like KSI did in the UK, the first ever Twitch rapper? That's literally what he started at as a gamer who pivoted and became a legitimate bona fide hip hop star, right? He came from the YouTube space. Are you going to be a Trey Little who gets popping on TikTok? What's the distribution? How are you going to get the attention? Right? That's the part nobody wants to talk about. And in getting the attention, you have to have the visual aesthetic. Thankfully, you're a good-looking guy. You got some cool lights in your room. You understand aesthetic. You got dreads. Like, you're a cool-looking guy off top. So that's good. Especially a lot of us white rappers, we see it all that we struggle. You know what I'm saying? We struggle. Like, it's tough trying to look cool as a white rapper. Like, it just is what it is. You either got to look completely opposite of a rapper and be super duper nerdy and weird, and then someone like, you know, there's I can't remember his name, but there's like a white rapper that's blown up on YouTube. He just looks like a complete dweeb, and it's worked for him, right? Or you have to have a lot of drip and look super cool, like Nick D does. We've been seeing his stuff. He's a part of the community. He's a freaking cinematographer, video guy who dresses super cool, and guess what? He dropped a song every other week with a visual, and in a year he grew from 1,000 to 30,000 followers on Instagram. Dang. You know what I mean? So what does that mean? Right, distribution, a visual aesthetic, great music. What is the distribution? Instagram and YouTube with a great visual aesthetic every other week dropping a song, right? With the visual, he could do that. Why? Because he's a video guy. His wife can hold the camera. He could rap. Jay Monty did the same thing. Jay Monty was already signed, had having trouble on his label, started dropping a song a week called Testify Tuesday. It built. Most people don't want to do this. Most people don't want to put in the work. Like, let's just be honest. Let's be honest. When somebody's like, I want to be a rapper, and I say, great, go learn video. Go learn video and go learn TikTok. You're like, nah, I don't want to learn video on TikTok. I just want to rap. Okay, cool. Then you'll be like the other million guys that just want to rap and never get anything going. You know what I'm saying? And how many people are amazing? How many rappers do you hear nowadays that are dope that can't get anything going? So for you, you're young. Learn TikTok. Get popping on TikTok.
Yeah, I just started it like a week ago.
There you go. How are you doing on TikTok?
Oh, my first 2 videos, I hit like 300 views on each. I know that's not a lot.
No, that's great. That's great. I didn't get 300 videos on my first TikTok videos. That's awesome. Yeah. So that's dope. My first videos are getting 10. You know what I'm saying? They're 10 views, 20 views. There's rappers you know now that are trying to get popping on TikTok that are getting 50 views that can't crack 100 views.
Wow. Dang.
So get popping on TikTok or go learn video and shoot your own music videos and put them on.
My own music video the other day.
Dope. So then once you have the attention, there's tactical things you could do. You can make your music without samples. You can make your own beats. Why is that important? Well, because one of my revenue streams, probably one of my biggest revenue streams, is called sync licensing. It's through MusicBed. It's TVs, commercials, YouTubers using my music under their stuff, right? So Google just used an instrumental from 2016 of one of my songs, or Dream Junkie song that I'm on, in 2016 that Issa Rae was in, and we got a big bag for that. You know what I'm saying? So why? Because we don't use samples, because we don't lease beats, and because we control the production and that. So learn to make beats. You know what I'm saying? It's not that complicated. Boom, you make beats. Boom, you're already ahead, right? So
I went to school for. I'm in this school program where I got my Logic certification already.
There you go. So you make your own beats. You're on TikTok. Do you know video?
Like video, I'm trying to learn a little bit about it. I've started dabbling in Adobe and Photoshop and stuff like that.
There you go. Learn video. You're doing that already. That's amazing. So you're already, and you're good. Like, it's not like you're not good. You're already dope. You know what I mean? So you're ahead of the curve. So now what you have to do is, now that you have all these different pieces, you have you understand the visual aesthetic. You have some good music. Your music's only going to get better. You're on TikTok. You're trying to understand how to hack culture and how to get attention. That's huge. The next step I would say for you is to get some strategic collaborations. What I'm doing with my artist, Paul Russell is my artist. Paul Russell is at 6,000 Instagram followers, or right at 6,000 Instagram followers. We're trying to get his numbers up as quickly as possible. So we have him doing collaborations with other artists, and he is the primary artist as well as the other artists. So he just dropped a song with Foggy Raw. Foggy Raw is the primary artist. Paul Russell is the primary artist. That would be the next step, is you need to get some, not vertical collaborations. Everybody wants to do vertical collaborations. Everybody wants a song with Lecrae and Andy Mineo. No, get some horizontal collaborations. Right? Is this horizontal? Is this horizontal? Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. Get some horizontal collaborations, right? So how many followers are you at on Instagram?
I'm at 1,146.
Perfect. So find a couple rappers that do what you do, that are right at around 1,000 to 2,000 followers, that have real followers and real engagement and real likes on their photos, and get, or somebody, let's just say under 5,000, right? And send them a couple record options and say, man, like, I like what you're doing. Can we collaborate? Maybe you have to pay them. Maybe you don't. Right? Preferably not. Preferably you're dope enough, and there, again, it's a horizontal collaboration. And make sure they have Spotify followers, and you guys just do a joint record, promote it, everybody pre-save. Something you guys don't know, and I don't know if people know this, when you pre-save on Spotify, they follow you. They're opted in to follow you. Most people don't know that. That's why the pre-save thing is so smart. So every time you pre-save a song, you're not just pre-saving a song, you're actually following the artist that you're pre-saving the record by. You know what I mean? Yeah. So boom. And then I would so then to get really tactical, I would say strategic collaborations with artists that have similar aesthetics and similar vibes in a horizontal fashion. Don't look at them as competition. Look at them as collaborators. Look at them as community, right? Strategic collaborations horizontally, and then just keep chipping away at those. So I would be dropping a song a month with a collaboration.
Yes, with a visual.
Every single month. So here's some guys that are in a similar spot as you in your own city. You got Aaron Dews. I don't know if you're familiar with Aaron Dews. He just graduated high school last year. He's super dope, at a couple thousand followers. Super fire. He's right in Nashville. You know what I'm saying? You got guys like Aaron Dews. Who else is in Nashville? There's people in this community. Aaron is a part of this community. Aaron Dews. Who else is from Nashville? There was someone else. Mowgli is from Nashville. He's a little further along than you are. Goodness, there's somebody else that I just talked to.
It's Bart, bro.
Oh yeah, Bart's in Knoxville, right? Bartholomew Jones.
Bart's in Memphis.
Memphis. He's in Memphis.
It's like 3 hours away. Yeah.
Oh, Alcott.
Go to Memphis.
Alcott. Same.
Seti's there too.
Seti and Sam Alcott. Sam Alcott is super dope. He's a part of this community. He's right at where you're at. He's I think he's a freshman in college. He's at right at a couple thousand followers. He's super dope. He's grinding. He's going to Ray Rock's thing where you share your rhymes for Ray Rock. He's going to be a part of that. So Sam Alcott, Bartholomew Jones, Aaron Dews, and Seti. Those are the 4 people you need to reach out to and start building relationships with. They're more horizontal people. So
they're all here?
They're all in his community. They're all in his community. Yeah, and they're on Instagram, and you can look them all up and all that kind of stuff. So here, Conscious wanted to have some. Let me bring Conscious in. He had a really good hack for you. So I'm gonna bring Conscious in. Go ahead, bro.
You're talking about what I put in the chat?
Yeah. Let's share that with the YouTubes because we got a decent amount of people watching on YouTube.
So like, since I do like engineering and graphics and stuff, a lot of times I'll do stuff like that on the house for somebody, or I'll message somebody and be like, yo, I think your song's super fresh. If you're willing to shoot me the stems, I'd love to polish it for you.
Yep.
And I'll just make a free piece of content for them or post. Babe, get your son. Or like, I'll post a piece of content with their music playing in the background on it. And if they respond to it in the comments and say like, yo, I appreciate the content from you, then like in the near future of that moment, I'll reach out to them on a DM and be like, hey, I'd love to work with you. But I always make sure that if I'm trying to work with somebody, whatever I want to do or my vision is givable to them so that they have the least amount of time and cost to invest back and engage. That's like something I noticed right away. Like a lot of people that I want to work with have momentum and they've got a busy schedule most likely. So I need to let them know that not only do I want to work with them, but that it's very low barrier of entry and they could just do what they do and get it right back to me. So like for you, if you don't necessarily provide a service you could just do, I think maybe if you did a dope video of you just doing something or working in the booth and then put like the artists you want to work with, their music as like a cross link on your IG story or whatever, or take it a step further and make something that probably not a lot of people would even do for them. Then you'll really stand out if they have a big following.
Yep.
And then if they respond, just DM them like, yo, I would love to work with you. I have X, Y, and Z, and it's all set to go. Let them know you're fully prepared. So it's the least amount of time on their part. And
that's
like,
good.
That has like a 90% turnover rate in my experience.
Yeah, and Conscious is a great example of somebody who really does this for a lot of people. Like he really helps a lot of people out behind the scenes. And I think that gives him a ton of favor with people, very, very practically. I would say something, Carlton, you should be on is TikTok and Triller. So say there's an artist out of Nashville, say Aaron Cole. We'll just throw out a bigger name, Aaron Cole in Nashville, right? And you're a cool guy, you know how to dress cool, and you put together like a dope Triller video to one of Aaron Cole's new singles. And you post it, he sees it, or a TikTok video, he sees it, and he's just like, yo, who's this dude that just keeps showing me love? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's super lit, right? And then boom, he reshares it, and you don't say anything, you do it again, right? Like that kind of stuff, just showing love, man, and not like being intimidated and thinking that everybody's your competition, right? Those kind of things can lead to stuff. And I've seen Aaron Cole hop on records with guys you've never heard of, like my buddy Darius out of South Carolina, same spot. Another guy you should reach out to, Darius James. He's out of South Carolina. He has like a couple thousand followers. Amazing. Super duper dope, right? He got a freaking feature with Aaron Cole. Like he's like got a song with Aaron Cole. You know what I'm saying? Like, and like he has 2,000 followers. And it's just that helpfulness. So if you can take your skills that you're learning TikTok, you're learning Triller, you're learning video, you're learning mixing, you're learning all the beats, right? And you can use them to help other people. That's really where you could see the glow up. And I find myself doing this, not even trying. Like I'll find myself like my homie opened a barbershop. His name is Tage. He's super dope. If you guys ever come to Oceanside, come hang out with Tage at his barbershop. I take my son there. Dopest barbershop I've been to. And Tage was like, yo, I have this design idea for a shirt. You know what I'm saying? And within him telling me a couple days later, like I sent him to design. He didn't ask me to design it for him, nor did I charge him. He was trying to pay me for it. I didn't try to charge. I was just like, here. I bounced it off a couple people. Like I sent it to Conscience first. Like, yo, check this out. And I could have gotten paid for that. Like he would have paid me on the spot. And I'm like helping him out with his merch just because. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm helping out Jay Givens with his merch just because I love people and I want to help people. If you have that servant's heart, then like, bro, like you're gonna have a lot of favor. You know what I'm saying? And so I think for that, now tactically, this is what so now we talked about how to build the audience, how to build the attention. We gave you a bunch of ideas, how to network, right? Those were networking ideas, building relationships. Now the third thing is gonna be how do you make money, right? How do you make money? Your best bet to make money, if we try to get the bag as quickly as possible, is not going to be off your music. It's going to be off your merch. Get in the head of your audience, learn your audience, and figure out what do they want from you, and make merchandise for them and let them buy it. Because if you're selling 100 pieces a month, you can quit your job and go just do your merch. That's going to be the best way. Learning how to sell merch, getting in the head of your crowd, and doing that is going to be the fastest way to you make money. I'm writing an ebook about this right now. It is the biggest opportunity, the most slept on opportunity right now is for artists to make super fly merch, do it in a well executed way. And I can help you with this, so we could talk offline. I don't want to give away all the secrets, if you will.
I just got a heat press. It's coming in the mail.
There you go. So you already one step ahead. I got a couple different ways you could test stuff. If you have the money, I got a couple different ways you can get your prints. Get the merch popping. Once you get your merch popping, and I don't mean make merch with your name on it. I mean make merch with like a movement, like
brand.
Yeah, like God's Dream is something that I had been toying with for a while. I designed this myself, and then I started seeing a lot of my non-Christian hip-hop fans buying these hoodies, wearing these hoodies, smoking a blunt, blowing out the smoke with this hoodie on. And I was like, I'm onto something if those people want to rep this. Let me go all in and make some more of these. You know what I'm saying? And so I think the merch side is going to be the fastest way to monetize. I'd say the second is going to be if you can get in with the art list, or there's another one. I can't remember. There's another one that Peter McKinnon co-signs heavy for sync licensing, Music Bed. If you could own your music, own the composition, the beats of everything, and get onto one of those platforms, this may take you a while because those places are tough to get onto. But if you can get on something like that, that's going to be the easiest way for you to start making like residual money, Music Bed, sync licenses. So I would say merch, Music Bed, and then the collaboration, slowly the Spotify money will start trickling in. But that's long term. Like the Spotify, Apple, that's not going to come for a while. You just got to be okay with like, unless you go viral, and you may, the average person who's super popping isn't making a ton of money off of their actual consumption of music. Where the money is coming from is from merch, sync licensings, and shows. And then once you get popping, mind you, like I make good money off of my Spotify, my Apple Music, my back catalog, but it's not like a crazy amount. You know what I'm saying? So those are the main revenue streams. Get the merch popping, own your music, get the sync licenses popping, and then eventually, as you bubble, you usually get paid for shows. Pull up, rock at the youth group for a couple $100. Go do this college show for $1,000. That stuff will come in, but that's more, again, back to the attention, right? Attention, the clout, all that kind of stuff. That takes time to build, but you can start making money by just selling merch at your high school. Like you should have a fly shirt and just make a shirt and wear it and see what kids think. And if somebody asks you about it, then do a different color wave. They wear it the next week. If somebody asks you about it, you've been doing it already.
No, my girlfriend works at Nike. So
Okay.
I get 40% discount there.
Let's
And
go.
I've been flipping shoes and stuff.
Let's go. Y'all got a Nike clearance store in Nashville. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
Yep.
Yeah,
I was just telling Alcott about that. So that's a great side hustle. Is you could, bro, if you know about the Nike clearance store hustle, you could quit your job before you graduate high school and just flip sneakers and make music.
I wanted like a stable income, not based on.
Not if you want to do music. Not if you want to do music. There's no such thing as look, the idea of a stable income is passing. People lose their jobs all the time. Nobody stays at the same job for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So like you got to figure out, what do you need to make every single month? Is it $1,000 a month? Is it $2,000 a month? Is it $4,000? Like figure out what you need to make every single month, and then figure out how many hoodies and how many sneakers do you need to flip every single month to make that. If you do the numbers on that, then you can then you're right there. You know what I'm saying? You're right there. So if you need to make, let's just throw out a number. Say you need to make $1,500 a month, right? You need to make 15. Okay, so if you flipped 15 shoes, well, let's just say you flipped 10 shoes and you sold 20 hoodies at $40 a pop. What's 20 times 40? Let's just do the math. So 10 shoes, say you flipped 10 shoes at a profit of $100 a shoe. That's $100, right? And then 20 hoodies at $40. That's $1,800. You know what I'm saying? I think if you really wanted to, if your life depended on it, if like somebody held a gun to your head, you could figure out how to flip 10 pairs of shoes and sell 20 hoodies.
You're right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta get away from that. Like I want stability. Stability is nice, but you're making $10, $12 an hour. You know what I'm saying? Where you could be making $100 every time you flip a pair of shoes on Goat, or $50 every time you flip a pair of shoes on Goat, or on OfferUp. You know what I'm saying? Go to the clearance store, buy the shoes, keep track of what's popping. It's not always in the flipping the $200 shoes for $400. Sometimes it's buying a $50 pairs of shoes and flipping that for $120. You know what I mean? And so you got the clearance. Anybody that has a Nike clearance store in your city and you're worried about money, that's a problem. Like, figure out that the flip game is crazy right now. Like, to flip sneakers is such a great, and I don't know if it's going to stay like this. Like, if the economy takes a turn, people aren't going to be buying as much merch. People aren't going to be buying as many shoes. So figure it out now. Like, figure out how to hustle now so that you don't have to, you know what I mean? Everything takes it down. Because I've been through a recession before. I remember I got popping with music. Things was selling. I was doing shows, and all of a sudden, 2008 hit. 2007, 2008, 2009 hit, and it was like, bam, like we all took a L. You know what I mean? So right now, we're in a really good economic time, so you should be flipping shoes. You know what I mean? If you can figure out how to flip 10 shoes, 10 shoes a month, sell 20 hoodies a month, bro, you're full-time. You're full-time. You don't got to work a job no more. You know what I mean? Take some of that money, pump it back into more merch. Take some of that money, pump it back into Instagram ads, better music videos, YouTube ads, right? So that's like the very, very loose blueprint. We talked about how to get attention. We talked about how to build relationships by adding value to people. And then we talked about how to make money, which is flipping merch and flipping shoes and flipping services. You know what I'm saying? Now that's a whole lot. That's a whole lot I just threw at you. So
I took it off.
Yeah. So you can rewatch this. Like, this is on YouTube, so you can go back, rewatch this, take notes if you need to. My man Kid Triz said he's been flipping shoes since he was 15. That's dope. That's dope. And Kid Triz always seems to be fly, and he kind of always seems like he got bread too. So let me bring in the homie Canvas real quick. Where's Canvas at? Canvas. I'm going to pin you, bring you in. Boom, Canvas. Oh, wait a minute.
Yo.
You are live, good sir.
All right. Yeah, I just want to quickly just encourage Carlton real quick, man. I would encourage you, man, while you're on this journey and getting there, don't see your job, because I made this mistake. It's very tempting to see your job as something in the way of your music career. And something that it's like a hurdle to get over, and I need to get past this. And once I get past it, then I'm going to be on to my music career. But like, start seeing the things that you can take from your job with you into your music career. So I'll give you an example. I worked in sales for a long time. Just about every job I ever had was, so I worked my way up from selling TVs, then I worked my way up to appliances, then I worked my way up to Mercedes. I was selling fine cars for a while. So I stepped up from each job to the next job, and the information I learned while I was at Mercedes was absolutely invaluable. I was learning how to sell to customers from all different walks of life, from people who had, who made 50 grand a year to people who made $6 million a year. How to talk to every person, how to shake their hand, how to not judge them and seem likable and close a deal with them. Those are very valuable skills that I took with me when I finally quit and decided I wanted to start my own business. I took all that marketing info, that sales techniques. I took all the phone scripts that I learned when I was selling cars over the phone, and I had to read a script that actually worked and closed deals for me. I actually took that and used them to get customers for my own business.
Wow.
And so I could have said, oh man, I just want to work for myself. I don't want to work at this stupid car place. You know what I mean? I could have just sat there and just got through it and not learned anything. And I'm not saying you're doing that, but what I'm saying is, like, see the opportunity where you're at and think of your boss as your investor. Like, don't think of your boss as someone who's in your way. Your boss is giving you money to work there, and that money can be used. Obviously, I don't know your situation, but we got to pay rent, we got to buy groceries and all that. But if you're on a budget, where you're doing the challenge, you can budget some money to put aside. Hey, I'm going to invest in this piece of equipment, or I'm going to invest in this feature, or whatever it is. But I would just encourage you with that. Like, don't overlook, like, there's plenty of opportunity to come, but don't overlook the opportunity that's right in front of you, wherever you're at. I would just say that.
That's good, man.
Thank you.
That's good. All right. Let's bring in, who else had a question? Justin had a question. Justin and Robert left. Okay, let me bring in Justin real quick. I gotta stop doing that. All right, Justin, you are live, champ.
Hey, what's up? I was wondering about your your process of I guess, executive producing and how you go about investing and executive producing different projects and managing different projects.
That's a great question. Can you be more specific?
In music and just different things. I'm working on executive producing like this films and executive producing albums for people around me. Like I have artists around me that I want to help out with like their music, and I want to executive produce those albums and those productions.
Got it. Yeah. So executive producing usually or historically has meant more of how do I say it? Like the funder of the project, right? The one who has the cash flow to put down the money, right? That's usually what an executive producer is. And then a producer is someone who would do the more hands-on creative work. So for me, executive producing has just really been, I like being in the mix, but it's really just been like creating the opportunity for the artist to get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Which has been more about me leveraging my relationships with vendors, to whether it's music mixing, whether it's manufacturing, whether it's getting videos done, leveraging that and leveraging my platform to help bring as many eyeballs to an artist. So if we take an artist like John Keith, I think John Keith had about 1,000 followers when he signed with me on Instagram. We've grown him to, I think he's at 16,000, 17,000 followers in 2 years. Paul Russell had 0 followers, and we grew him to 6,000 in a year. And so it's really leveraging my audience so that when they come out, there's already a built-in crowd that is going to consume what they're doing. So I think executive producing for me has just been leveraged. I don't have a ton of money right now. I didn't. I'm getting better financially, but I didn't have a ton of money to leverage putting up bread. But sometimes when you don't got money, it's actually better, in my opinion, because you have to be more creative. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You have to be more creative to figure out how to get attention, use your money, what little bit of money you have, where do we put that? You know what I mean? Use that more wisely. Like, is it better, say like I got $2,000 for an album. Like, is it better for me to put all that into Facebook ads, or should I really go grassroots and throw a super dope live show, you know what I'm saying, and come out of pocket and throw a show and try to get 100 people to come up to an album release party, right? Like that's how my brain works. And so I think executive producing, you got to have executive power of some sort, whether it's money or influence and clout or relationships in a network and a system to executive produce. If you don't have, I would say those 3 things, money, relationships, and systems, then you probably shouldn't be executive producing anything. You should be focusing on doing what you need to do to get your thing off the ground or to grow in those 3 areas. And so for me, I didn't have a ton of money, but I always had relationships and I always had systems and ways to get stuff done quicker than if an artist was by themselves doing their first record trying to figure it out. And so that's why I think a lot of amazing artists have entrusted me early on with building their brand and getting them to the next level. So does that answer your question?
Yeah. With the challenge and the income building, I was looking into pallets, like this kind of like the Nike clearance thing, and I was looking into like buying pallets of shoes instead of going just to the clearance the store.
Yeah, I've never done pallets. I have no idea what that means. The dope part about the clearance store is if you go get the GOAT app or the StockX app, you go walk into the clearance store, pull out a pair of shoes, punch in the number on the box, and it'll tell you what the shoes are selling for currently and what the last sale of the shoes are and what the current offer for the shoes is right now. So Nike clearance stores are not the same as Nike outlet stores. Nike outlets are not the same. Nike clearance stores is like the last place Nike shoes go, and they're the best place to get deals. So you can get like retro Jordan stuff. You can get some really hyped up stuff for really cheap. So you got to see if there's a Nike clearance store near you. I go to outlets and I don't really find like heat like that, but I could say at the clearance store I found a lot of really popping stuff, and I'm able to sell stuff at a fairly good profit. For me, a good profit is at least 100% margin, meaning that if I buy a pair of shoes for $70, I could sell them for $140. You know what I mean? If I buy a pair of shoes for 50, I could sell them from 100 to 120. That's a good profit for me. And to me, I could do that more hand to hand and at my shows than I necessarily can on GOAT. But GOAT is a great way. I think GOAT takes about 15%. So, you know, you deduct 15% from that. But yeah, man. So I would find, where city are you in, Justin?
I'm in Newport Richie. The closest one I have is Orlando. So I'm trying to plan a trip up to that. And
How far is that from you?
It's about an hour to 2 hours from here.
Okay, I know there's two in Orlando. And so yeah, just figure out whichever clearance center is close to you. There's one that's an hour from me, and I tend to go at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. And it's just something I'm also into. Like they say, have a hobby that can make you money. It's a hobby that I love to do. It's fun. I would be looking at shoes anyway. I'm into shoes. You know what I mean? I like the culture. So check that. You know, it's just going to be natural for me. Okay, so who else had a question that we can bring in? Jeriel, did you have a question? I don't remember if you did. I mean, I'm going to pin yours.
Yeah.
All right, go for it, bro.
All right. So I had a question about like how to get your beat, like so just to like introduce it, like I remember like saying on IG, like Zach Serrazzo, he said that it's more useful if you like actually like help other artists rather than like trying to be like on the spotlight.
Yep.
So I'm trying to like how you actually get like I guess like talk with like certain artists who like who are rappers, like who might like want to use my beat, or like how to sell that. Or
yeah, that's a great question. That's a really good question. So how do you connect with artists to get them to rap over your beats, right? Basically, how do you sell more beats? Okay, cool. That's a really good question. So I would say, again, a big mistake a lot of us are doing is we're going for the vertical collaborations instead of going for the horizontal collaborations. So people are, you know, instead of like trying to find their peers and collaborate with their peers, they want the next tier, which like most people, even myself included, and I don't think I'm like at some crazy tier, but like I get a ton of beats sent to me all the time, beats. Check out this beat. You could use this beat for free, da-da-da. And I actually don't use a lot of beats because of the systems I have in place with my sync licensing people, where I've had people give me a beat and then want me to pay them for it after the fact. I've had people sell me a beat. We're going through stuff now. Somebody sold somebody a beat, and then all of a sudden they wanted a percentage. It's like we never discussed a percentage. You know what I mean? That stuff happens all the time. So I don't like working with people that I do not know and I'm close to, and I keep my circle very small because of those reasons. Because it's one thing to be like, yeah, I'll give you a beat right now to, you know what I'm saying, to get my foot in the door, so to speak. But then the moment that daggone song gets 1 million plays on Spotify, or somebody uses it in a commercial, all of a sudden it becomes a problem, right? All of a sudden it becomes a problem. So that's the part that gets complicated. So I keep a small circle. So I think to answer your question, I'm going to give you an answer you're not going to like. You have to build yourself up as an artist. You got to build your own numbers up. You got to get your own thing popping. And once you get yourself popping, and I mean like literally, you should be a artist. The way I'm mentoring Berg on the beat, and the way we're building Berg's brand is we're building him as an influencer in and of his own right, as an artist, so that when he does a record with somebody, he's not a behind the scenes producer. His name is attached to the record. So me and Berg have a record coming out next Friday with Jamil on it. Jamil is super dope. And it's Ruslan as a primary artist, Berg on a beat as a primary artist, and Jamil as a primary artist. And the thing about that is, now as Berg builds his audience, if Berg starts reaching out to rappers, and he has 50,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and he has 20,000 Instagram followers or 10,000 Instagram followers, the conversation shifts, the conversation changes, because he actually has attention and an audience to bring to the table. Right? So for you, it would be the same as a rapper. In my opinion, I don't think you should be a behind the scenes type of guy unless you're just terrible with people and you're like some savant as a producer. You know what I'm saying? I think you should be building up your brand as a producer and collaborating horizontally and figuring out how you can make stuff work horizontally. And Berg is also very generous in the splits. He's not trying to own 50% of the record. He doesn't need to own 50% of the record. So he'll work with an artist that's more poppin', through his networking, through me and different people, because now I know Bird got heat, so I'm connecting him and I'm getting his beat packs out there, and he's getting his stuff out to more people. And he's okay with taking 25%, 10%, 20%, whatever. He wants to get his foot in the door. And so Berg on the Beat is the name of the producer. Is that what you asked? What's the name of the producer that just asked that? What's your producer name online, bro, on Instagram?
I mean, my producer name, I'm using BeatStars. It's Alfine. So yeah, I posted it on the Family Friday yesterday.
Okay, dope.
Not yesterday.
Friday, yeah. Charlene, if you go back to the Family Friday, you could hear some of his stuff. So, yeah, man. So again, like, I think now is the climate, unless you're Kendrick Lamar's cousin and you could just get your foot in the door. Like, I don't think now is the time of like being the behind the scenes guy. Even Zach Sparazzo, who serves people behind the scenes, has his own YouTube page and is popping on Instagram and has a TikTok page. That should tell you something. You see what I'm saying? So Zach Sparazzo is saying, go serve artists and creatives, but guess what? Zach has an Instagram page, and Zach has a TikTok page, and Zach has a YouTube page. So that should tell you what you need to be doing as a producer. If you want to actually build a business and not just hope and pray that somebody somewhere stumbles across one of your beats on BeatStars/YouTube, and then 2 Chainz raps on it, and then you get a bunch of more placements like that. Like, that can happen, but again, it's mad. It's very, very unlikely. So you have to go out there and build a brand. You have to build a reputation. You have to build the relationship. So everything I just said to Carlton, you got to do for yourself. You got to apply those very same things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for that advice.
For sure, man. Thank you, bro. Okay, let's see who else. Who else? I think Asher just hopped in. Asher got his camera off. I want somebody with their camera on, man. I don't like y'all with your cameras off. With the incognito. Let's bring in the homie Spaceship Coyote. He had a very interesting question, and then we're gonna go offline soon. So if you guys are enjoying this conversation in the YouTube, you can hop in and join the conversation by hitting the link in the description, signing up for Patreon. We're going to be going offline for a little bit after this. Well, Spaceship Coyote, I pinned your video and you went dark on me. What in the world? Why are you turning your camera off, Chief? There you are. You're back. Let me pin you back.
I was trying to find my question, like, so that I could, I don't want to be like, but I think I know it well enough.
Okay.
So pretty much, I just wanted to know how you walk with people. Well, put it this way: how do you walk as an artist and a business person, as a Christian, and still interact with people? Like, you know what I'm saying? Where do you kind of draw that line when you have people that are, secular artists, or they have views they're Christians, but they may have views that differ from yours? Like, how do you walk that line, and how do you still work with people, or do you you kind of put that stuff out? You have a secular artist, he's like, hey, Ruslan, what's up, man? I love your work. I want to jump on with you. How do you you handle it? Like, I just bought S1's book.
Yeah.
Pre-ordered, and because I really want to hear stuff like that, but I really wanted to hear what your opinion was on that.
That's a great question. So his question is like, as a believer, as a Christian, or I would say even as people, those of you guys maybe that aren't Christian, but you're trying to navigate and you're working with people who have a different worldview, different positions on stuff. And that's a great question. And for me, one of the things I think that I try to take the heart on, man, is like, I just try to take the heart of just being a servant and helping people. And when God gives me the opportunity to help people, I help people. You know what I'm saying? And I do my best to help people, whether that's looking out for the homie who has a barbershop that needed a logo flip, and I'm like, let me get in my design bag real quick. You know what I'm saying? And I like flip the logo, and I'm actually going to press some prints for him tonight. You know what I mean? I'm making some stuff, I'm ordering some prints for him and me, and I'm adding him on my gang sheet. I'm looking for opportunities to be generous with people that God gives me the opportunity to be generous with. You know what I mean? And I think I will say that I prefer when people are clear about who and what they are. It's very difficult for me to do that with someone that's professing to be a Christian but sleeping and living with their girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? That gets a little complicated. You know what I'm saying? When someone is like, yeah, I believe in Jesus, but I smoke crack. You know what I'm saying? Like that's very difficult for me to be like, bro. Now, if someone is saying, I don't believe in Jesus, right? I'm not a Christian. That to me makes it a bit cleaner. And then that to me falls under 1 Corinthians 5, which says, you know, I've written to you in my past books to say not to associate with sexually immoral people. Of course, I wasn't talking about people in the world, because then you wouldn't be able to talk to anybody, right? I was talking about the unrepentant Christian in the church. And if you look at what was happening in 1 Corinthians 5, it was a Christian in the church who was sleeping with a stepmom, and they were celebrating him and okay with it because he was of high, noble position. You know what I'm saying? And so that to me is the line. To me, the line is someone that's an unrepentant Christian who is in a local church, and because of his stature or his platform is being celebrated regardless of his sin. That to me is where I can't do that. I draw the line there. And the second place I draw the line is I can't do anything that glorifies evil or makes good sound bad. You know what I mean? So anything that makes evil sound good or anything that makes good sound evil, I can't do that. And I will tell people, and I have a lot of relationships, I'm not going to name drop, but you could piece it together with the people who, you know, you might see on my stories, or the people you might see on my channel. You know what I mean? Some artists that have way bigger platforms. If someone's sending me something and they're like, what do you think about this? And I'll tell them straight up, bro, this is dark. Like, this is very dark. This isn't you. I don't think you should put this energy out there. I think if you're going to say this and make this look sexy, make a music video to show that you're not endorsing this and that this isn't cool, whether that's gang banging, whether that's drugs, whatever. So I end up having the opportunity to speak a lot and course correct a lot of stuff that is I wouldn't have if I wasn't in a position to be an encourager and to be affirming and to show the light of Jesus. And I feel like Jesus did a lot of, he was gentle, he was encouraging, he was positive. And I feel like, well, my non-Christian friends, I can be that. And with my Christian friends too. You know what I'm saying? I could be encouraging. I could believe the best for them. I could show love for them. I could speak life over them. Now, if you are a Christian and you're saying, I'm a Christian, I'm in a local church, and you're bugging out, and you're, you know what I'm saying, wilding out, then like there, scripture's kind of clear. Like, I shouldn't really be into all of that. You know what I'm saying? But the person that's like, look, I'm not a Christian, and they smoke weed or they get drunk on the weed, that's none of my business. You know what I'm saying? If I have influence and God's given me an opportunity to speak life. And here's the deal, bro, 99% of the time, these people end up getting invited to church. I end up sharing the gospel with them. They end up going to church with me because I don't start in this, like, draw a line in the sand. I'm a Christian. You're not a Christian. I'm holy. You aren't. How dare, like, I don't start there. That's not where I start. I start with, man, I love you. I love your work. How can I serve you? How can I help you? And I'm trying to think about what they need and how I can serve them. And so whether that's marketing, giving them the game on how to roll out a song, whatever that is, man. And it ends up, it's been very cool this last, I'd say 4 or 5 months. The people that God has placed me in front of, the influence he's given me, the opportunity to share the gospel, to gently correct people that I disagree with, to say, bro, that's not really cool. Like, I wouldn't promote that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man DJ AG. This fool said, thank God for drugs in the comment section. He's somebody that I speak to regularly. You know what I'm saying? One of my homies that I speak to, he has a poppin' vlog. And so I end up being able to just be the light, man, and be an encourager and speak hope. And when somebody's like off, I'll tell them, dog, that's not lit. You know what I'm saying? That's not cool. You sure you want to put that energy out there? I don't think you should do that. If you're going to say this, make the visual look this way. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to, so anyway, that would be the way I would answer it, bro. I feel you on the confusion and all that kind of stuff. So I've asked people straight up, are you a Christian? You know what I'm saying? Are you a Christian? Because you're talking like a Christian. Well, what do you mean? Well, do you believe in a literal resurrection of Jesus? Yes or no? No. Okay, then you're not a Christian. Cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I put you in a different category, and I'm just here to love you and encourage you and to be a blessing to you. I'm not here to rebuke you. I'm not here to correct you. You know what I mean? Now, if somebody is saying, I believe this, then I would say, well, that's not congruent. Those two ideas don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? You can't be this and that. You know what I mean? Like I can't be I can't say that I'm a felon and I'm a peacekeeper. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that I'm monogamous and I'm a stripper. You know what I'm saying? Those ideas are incongruent. I mean, I guess maybe there's some monogamous strippers out there. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that I'm a natural bodybuilder who's about the natural life and be on steroids. Like, those ideas are incongruent. You can't have both of those things. You know what I mean? And I'll keep it a buck with people. You know what I mean? So that's a great question, man. Hopefully that was helpful to you. Let me bring in my man Asher Donald. I saw him in the live stream. He had a great question. I don't remember what it is, but you are live. Thank you for hopping in, bro.
Hey, my question was, I listen to a lot of K-pop, and it has like verse, pre-chorus, chorus type song structures. So I was wondering, I wanted to incorporate that with rap, but is it a good idea for me to make smaller mixes that will go on Spotify and streaming accounts where it's not going to be paid for, and have a longer mix with all the arrangements and automations and whatever for like to buy on iTunes or Amazon MP3, stuff like that? So that was my question.
So you are making remixes of popular K-pop songs, is that correct?
No. I'm just making songs that are layered like K-pop songs are. So rap, you'll just hear like a loop, and it'll be the loop the whole song, whereas I'm doing different things per section of the song.
And how long are like, what's the shortest this song is, and what is the longest one of these?
So
pieces?
on average, a song will be like 3:50 to 4 minutes, whereas I see a lot of rap songs in like 2 minutes. So the full version would be 4 minutes. The shorter version would be a 2-minute version.
I think, this is what I think, and this is going to be controversial. Did you hear about the Spotify scam that somebody happened? They finessed Spotify out of like $500,000.
No, I didn't hear about that.
All right, so check this out. This is funny. So somebody found a loophole in Spotify's system, and I'm not saying y'all should do this, okay? But I'm saying this is how a lot of these artists drive up their streams, and this kind of stuff happens. So somebody saw a loophole in their system. That you could buy a premium account, right? It's $12 a month, right? So somebody bought $12,000 worth of premium accounts. Right, they dropped 12 bands worth of premium accounts, and then they composed like a bunch of 30-second songs. And on Spotify, a stream is a stream, whether it's a 30-second stream or whether it's a 3-minute stream. It counts as a stream. You get paid for that stream, right? So what they did is they bought 12,000 premium accounts. They had the logins for those accounts. Then they found some farm in India or wherever, and created their own playlist and ran those numbers up on their own compositions of the 30-second songs, and ended up finessing Spotify out of like $400,000, because Spotify pays 0.33 whatever, 0.3 of a penny, whether it's 30 seconds or 3 minutes. So they had a Sleepify playlist of stuff just playing through the night, and these different bots listening through these, whatever, the $12,000 worth of accounts. So it's probably like 1,000 accounts, all premium, listening through these songs and the 30-second songs, and they racked up and finessed Spotify out of $500,000. And it was such a finesse that Spotify they didn't even technically do anything wrong. Like, Spotify had to change its use of service agreements to course correct that, so people couldn't do it in the future. So
Yeah.
I say that to say there's a reason why rappers are making shorter songs. There's a reason why the song is getting shorter and shorter. Some of them have just a verse. Some of them a verse and a hook. Some of them just have a hook. So I think what's going to play best to your advantage is to make shorter songs. Make the songs as short as possible. Make them as focused as possible, because it's going to do two things. One, people are going to get through the song. You're going to get paid for the stream. That's a good thing. You need that. Two, you are going to get more replay value. If I hear a song and I really like the song, and it's only 2 minutes, I'm going to run it back. I'm going to listen to it again. You know what I'm saying? And I find myself doing this because when you play the song on Apple Music, I don't know how Spotify works, but when you play a song on Apple Music or Tidal, I have all of them, by the way, it replays the song again. Meaning if somebody has a single, I play the single's done, it replays the song again. And I'll literally find myself like playing a song 3 or 4 times in a row, right? So what that's doing is that person's getting paid every time I listen to the song. So you're getting paid more, and you're getting replay value for the song if it's a great song. And another thing Spotify looks at is when you start getting playlisted, they start looking at skip rates. So if you have a song and people are skipping over it, then they're not going to get it added to any more playlists. It's not going to work as well in the algorithm, right? I found out my music through someone at Spotify has some of the lowest skip rates. So even though I don't have the biggest fans or the biggest numbers, my skip rates are really low. That's why I always get playlisted and do really well on a streaming side. So how do you help not have bad skip rates? You make shorter songs, you make better songs. Because if I'm in a gym, right, and I'm like, a song's done, it's a minute and a half. I didn't have the time to skip it if I didn't like it. Spotify sees that it wasn't skipped. You see what I'm saying? So you have to make music and consider the times if you're talking about being successful on Spotify. If you're talking about making great art, that's subjective, and that's a whole nother conversation, and I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But I would make shorter songs. If I were you, I would make shorter songs. I'd be very intentional with every part of it. And then, yes, piece together a playlist that you're getting people to pre-save and follow, piece together an album, piece together. I think a playlist, if I'm you, I'm thinking a playlist might be great, like to really start being a curator and putting other people on. That could be dope. Is like build your own playlist with your own songs and mix in other people's songs and promote that playlist with different contests, and then get your playlist popping, because then everybody and their mama, collaborators, people that want to work with, people you may want to work with will start reaching out to you to be on your playlist.
All right.
That's leverage right there. You feel me? Like if you're like, oh man, and you got a playlist and now the playlist got 50,000 followers, you're going to have these different artists that you maybe were looking at as vertical. Now you're a peer because you have the leverage to put them on your playlist. So for you, I would consider doing that. You know what I'm saying?
All right, cool.
Word up, man. That's a great question.
Right,
hey, guys, so we're going to go offline. You guys that are still on YouTube, thank you for rocking with us. We're going to go offline for maybe another 10, 20 minutes before bedtime, and we're just going to talk about stuff that people maybe don't want to put out there publicly, and just kind of it's going to be a little more laid back. So if you guys want, link is in the description. Join the community, the most talented community on the internet as far as I'm concerned. Epreem said, so shorter songs equal higher streams. I think so. They equate less skip rates, which is good. They will get replays if the song is good, and you can get through the song and get paid faster if it's a shorter song. You know, some of that is my opinion, some of that is fact. That's my opinion. If you want to talk about it, hit the link in the description. Join the Patreon community. We're going to stay on the Zoom call while we're off the YouTube. So, new video dropping tomorrow. Hey, subscribe to the channel, like this video, turn your notifications on if you found this valuable.